Okay, now we will start. Right, now we have finished the Visuddhimagga. So on the chapter 4 also about Visuddhimagga, on the chapter 5 is remaining Kasina. The previous chapter is more on the earth Kasina, about how you make the earth and so on. Now, remember when we learn the Kasina, there are different types. So for this one, I already sent the notes to you all. So today we can either go by the book, which take long time, or we can do a summary. All right. So we can see the comparison between earth, water, fire, and wind. Okay. This is the one I get from the book Visuddhimagga. This is also a way. Okay, when you learn things, we call it, you can learn by can you all see the screen? Wait, not yet. Sorry. Okay, can you see? You can see the screen now, right? Okay, all right. Now, either you go to the book paragraph by paragraph, is also can, but it might take some time. But it's a good if you have time, you read by yourself. Since the book is with you, I send to you all. You can read yourself. You can just go for the chapter 5 and read. Previously, we mentioned of Kasina. Now about water Kasina. Okay. So I think it's good to read here. So Thomas, you can start from 1, 2, 3, right?
The water
Thomas?
kasiṇa. Yes.
Mm.
Now, the water kasiṇa comes next after the earth kasiṇa. Here is the detailed explanation. One who wants to develop the water kasiṇa should, as in the case of the earth kasiṇa, seat himself comfortably and apprehend the sign in water that is either made up or not made up, etc. And so all the rest should be repeated in detail. And as in this case, so with all those that follow in this chapter. We shall, in fact, not repeat even this much and shall only point out what is different. Here too, when someone has had practice in previous lives, the sign arises for him in water that is not made up, such as a pool, a lake, a lagoon, or the ocean, as in the case of the elder Chula Shiva. The Venerable One, it seems, thought to abandon gain and honor and live a secluded life. He boarded a ship at Mahatita, Mannar, and sailed to Jambudipa in India. As he gazed at the ocean, meanwhile, the Kasina sign, the counterpart of that ocean, arose in him. Someone with no such previous practice should guard against the four faults of a Kasina, and not apprehend the water as one of the colors blue, yellow, red, or white. He should fill a bowl or a four-footed water pot to the brim with water, uncontaminated by soil, taken in the open through a clean cloth, or with any other clear, unturbid water. He should put it in a screened place on the outskirts of the monastery, as already described, and seat himself comfortably. He should neither review its color nor bring its characteristic to mind. Apprehending the color as belonging to its physical support, he should set his mind on the name concept as the most outstanding mental datum, and using any among the names for water, apo, such as rain, ambu, liquid, udaka, dew, vari, fluid, salila. He should develop the kasina by using preferably the obvious water.
Please continue. Yes.
As he develops in this way, the two signs eventually arise in him in the way already described. Here, however, the learning sign has the appearance of moving. If the water has bubbles of froth and mixed with it, the learning sign has the same appearance and it is evident as a fault in the kasiṇa. But the counterpart sign appears inactive, like a crystal fan set in space, like the disc of a looking glass made of crystal. With the appearance of that sign, he reaches excess jhana, and the jhana tetrad and pentad in the way already described.
Okay, thank you. Now, can you briefly summarize in your own way, just to test your understanding? All right, just
Uh,
use a
mhm. It is mainly talking about two different ways to practice the Vada Kasina. For the one who has practiced in previous lives, he will have a different way of realizing. It can happen to him when he's just looking at the ocean, and the counterpart will arise in his mind, the counter picture. And for the one who doesn't have such experience, he shall practice the Vada Kasina, but he should use the water element itself as a meditation object, and not the color, for then it's the color kasiṇa. And the easiest way is just to repeat water, water, water in mind. And there's some about the techniques that he's putting it in a pot and stuff.
Okay, why should he repeat water, water, water?
To keep the mind on the object very, very easy and not think about concepts, just for easy concentration.
Yes, true. All right. So then, do you understand about these two signs, the learning sign and another one is the counterpart sign?
Yes, I think the learning sign is the ugaha nimitta,
Ugaha, right. The first one,
and this
yes.
one it can still move and is still it can still change, while the other one, the final one is
Patibhaga. Patibhaga, right.
Pativaka nimitta.
Uh-huh.
It's not changing and it's very clear and very stable. And this is
Mm.
the stage of excess concentration, which will lead to jhana, to the
Yeah,
four or
okay. Good,
five
good.
jhanas.
All right. So this is you can also practice this beside the fire kasina. Right. All right.
Mhm.
So this is if you want to make yourself, you fill your bowl. There's one thing you can do, but make sure it clean. And what you say, just make sure it's not become what like here blue, yellow, red, white. All these are changed to the color casino. So make sure it's just water, and it's not. We are not talking about the elements of water like flowing and so on. We just look at just remember it as water, 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 right? But the best, of course, is those who have previous practice. Just look at the ocean, and then the counterpart means that the patibaga it just appear to him. This means that he get access of jhana very fast, right? So it looks very simple, right? Very simple. Okay. Compared to earlier one, we practice the yellow casina. Actually, this might be somebody like it because it more natural. To me, I think I once get it, one sign in top of my building. So there's a lake nearby. So it was in the midday. So when I look at it, the sign appear very clear to me in the it's just like the mind grabs the object. As long as the mind like it, then you can meditate on it. So mainly we must take care. If the object is what appealing to mind, then the mind can grasp it. So if the mind doesn't like it, so you will have more hindrances, right? Okay, now I think fire casino also same. All right, so let me look at the notes first. So this kind of review. So first one, you can practice use preliminary, we call it parikama nimitta. Use your eyes to see. Like earth, like we mentioned before, made of the natural earth, or you make a plate of earth. And water, like just now, you make a bowl of clear water. Or natural means like when you look at the lake, ocean, lagoon, or what. And fire, if you light that out, or naturally when you look at the fan. Wind is natural when you look at the trees moving and so on, or feel the touch of the body. All right. So I think all this is very easy to to be understood because it's something that we see almost every day. So today, just now, Thomas had read about either you make out a bowl of water, clear water, and put in front of you, or if best is you go to see the lake of the ocean, which I think is actually a very nice idea because this thing is very natural, and you also can take it relax the mind. No need to look at the asuba or look at the do other Buddha Nusati or whatever. Just look at water only. Okay, now like earlier on. Yes.
Sorry, for the water, right? Can we look at a swimming pool, like no one swim in it?
No one swim. Yes, yes. If no one swim, of course, no one swim, then it will be good. If somebody swimming, then when you look at it, so it might appear the human leg and body. All right. Yeah, I think swimming pool also, but the problem is swimming pool is in the square shape, no? But what we say actually, if like lake or lagoon, whatever, the best is actually it's a round shape for the mind because the meaning of kasina is something to do with we call it whole or device, right? Okay, now when it comes to the fault, like earth, when you're doing of the earth kasina, be aware of the dirt and glass. So water also be aware, don't change it to color kasina, right? Right. And then the fault will be like say just now the water bubbling. All right. So the learning sign say what's the learning sign? When you close the eyes, you see when you look at the water, when you close the eye, you will see exactly like what you saw with your physical eye. The water will be moving or bubbling. Okay. But at the counterpart side, which near to the excess or in the absorption, what you see in the water, it become like inactive, like a crystal. So it's instead of like water moving, it look like crystal very bright and shiny. So this is the Patibhaga Nimitta, the number third one. Okay. So I did this chart for me to learn, and also I did this chart when I was teaching the other group. I think some of you also attended class before. Yeah. Right. Okay, now we go for I think it's clear, right? And any other question before we move the fire kasina?
Sergio, I still have a question about the water. So you mentioned
Yes.
because swimming pool is square or rectangular, right? But
Rectangular, yeah.
but when we practice, we are paying just a fraction of the water in the swimming pool, or we will look at the whole swimming pool.
Better you grab the whole one. Yeah. Because
Better
if
grab
depends on you whether you want to see big or small. So if it's too small, then you grab the whole thing. Okay. So, but
Mm,
it's too big like the ocean. The ocean is too big. You cannot grasp the whole ocean, but maybe at the time you look at the small part. As long as the object should be we call it quite plain, not so complicated. With if you look at the ocean, don't look at the trees. Sometimes in the ocean nearby there will be coconut, and then there might be people walking around, right? So look at the only ocean. So if you look at the swimming pool, look at the part that is more clear,
mm,
not the edge of the swimming pool. Because if you look at the edge of swimming pool, then your mind is only grabs the square shape. Because all the swimming pool most of the time is square shape, right?
yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Next one. Okay. Maybe you read the fire casino. That's good. Jen. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone who wants to develop the fire kasina should apprehend the sign in fire. Herein, when someone with merits, having had previous practice, is apprehending the sign, it arises in him in any sort of fire, not made up as he looks at the fiery combustions in a lamp's flame, or in a furnace, or in a place for baking bowls, or in a forest conflagrations. As in the elder Chitragutta's case, the sign aroused in that elder as he was looking at a lamp's flame while he was in the Upasata house on the day of preaching the Dhamma. Anyone else should make one up. Here are the directions for making it. He should split up some damp hard wood, dry it, and break it up into short lengths. He should go to a suitable tree roots or to a shed, and there make a pile in the way done for baking bowls, and have it lit. He should make a hole, a span, and 4 fingers wide in a rush mat or a piece of leather or a cloth, and after hanging it in front of the fire, he should sit down in the way already described. Instead of giving attention to the grass and sticks below or the smoke above, he should apprehend the sign in the dense combustions in the middle. He should not reveal the color as blue or yellow, etc., or give attention to its characteristic as heat, etc., but taking the color as belonging to its physical support and setting his mind on the name concept as the most outstanding mental datum, and using any among the names for fire, tejo, such as the bright one, pavaka, the lever of the black trail, kanhavatani, the knower of creatures, jataveda, the altar of sacrifice, hutasana, etc. He should keep develop the kasina by using preferably the obvious fire. As he develops it in this way, the two signs eventually arise in him as already described. Herein, the learning sign appears like the fire to keep sinking down as the flame keeps detaching itself. But when someone apprehends it in a kasina that is not made up, any fault in the kasina is evident in the learning sign, and any firebrand or pile of embers or ashes or smoke appears in it. The counterpart sign appear motionless like a piece of red cloth set in space, like a gold fan, like a gold column. With its appearance, he reaches access jhana and the jhana tetrad and pentet in the way already described.
Okay, now you read. Can you tell me what you read?
Wow, the fire kasina is more difficult than water kasina.
Okay, so in what way is more difficult?
You have to collect woods and everything and set fire.
Okay. This is the ancient method, of course. Ancient method, they will not talk about gas stove, right? And now you want to cook, you turn on the gas stove and fire. So you have to go to the tree, go to share, you take out. But it's true in sometime in here, when we want to burn the fire, sometime with the gas stove, we don't want to use it. We actually literally collect all the, because we have trees, right? So we collect the boughs of wood and burn. To me, it's easy because I sometimes, it's not easy to throw rubbish. Our place is quite far. So I really burn all the rubbish. Okay, what else is difficult?
No, I think last week Thomas say look at the candle is easier. So
Okay.
probably the easiest way in modern life.
Okay.
And
Okay,
then
now
it also say
mm,
don't pay
the-
attention to the smoke. Okay.
okay. Yeah, beside okay, now don't pay attention to small. Okay, what else?
Don't pay attention to the bottom, like the grass or wood or anything. So
Uh-huh.
that means if it's candle, then don't pay attention to candle, but only the middle one. Yeah,
The
where the
flame. Yeah. Okay.
fire is happening.
Now you can see it's even more complicated. You need to make a hole and then a piece of leather on piece of leather and cloth. Do you know what's the purpose of this one?
Avoid distraction.
Yeah, it's same like just now lah. It's that reduce the distraction, right? Just make a what you need to find a ladder also close. Then you need to cut it in the middle just to see the flame. It's more complicated here, right? Just look at the flame. I think it's easier. Okay, yeah. And then this is all these are Pali name. Okay, I think the best way is you need to recite in your mind, fire, fire, fire. All right. Okay. Now, when he's successful, what happened? What is the learning sign? The flame keeps sinking down. But I think the main thing is the fault. You will see the fault exactly like the first one is you make the fire outside. That's called parikama. Second one, when you grasp it, learning sign is same as what you see. You will see the fault with the amber ashes or something. But when you're successful, the counterpart sign, the patibhaga, you will see is what? Do you know what it is, all this color? What are you trying to say about this?
Like
This
it
red
become
cloth.
like it become like a solid color. It's no longer like
Yeah.
there's not moving. Not like the
Yeah,
flame
yeah.
is moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
being fleeced in that moment. Before that, it's look like active, the fire, like moving. Here, it's just like, I think the best explanation will be a kind of like cloth, because fire is red color, so it's a cloth just on in the sky. But it will be something bright because he's talking about some gold fan, right? Yeah, it will be something red and bright color. Okay, so now we can differentiate the difference between the different method, right? Okay, so now we check. So makeup light up fire. Natural, you look at the flame. So not consider the heat and other characteristic. Okay, and also color, right? Right. So fourth is the smokes. So sinking down with fourth, yeah. So motionless bliss of cloth. Right. That's what I try to say. But what we know is under the Patibhaga Nimitta, it will be everything will be bright, pure, and not moving. All right. So when we reach that stage, we know that's the Patibhaga Nimitta. Okay. Thank you. All right. Okay. Now we continue. All right. So you all still want to continue? I think yeah. This one I think is so A. All right. So we invite somebody who can read well. Uh, Uh, Melinda, I think you are free to join me. Yeah, Melinda. Yes.
Um, okay, thank you, Saji. The air kasiṇa. Anyone who wants to develop the air kasiṇa should apprehend the sign in air, and that is done either by sight or by touch. For this is said in the commentaries, one who is learning the air kasiṇa apprehends the sign in air. He notices the tops of growing sugarcane moving to and fro, or he notices the top of bamboos or the tops of trees, or the ends of the hair moving to and fro, or if he noticed the touch of it on the body. Think further down, Saiji, cannot see the below one.
Here, this one.
Okay.
So when, yeah.
Wait, so when he sees sugar canes with dense foliage standing with tops level or bamboos or trees, or else hair four fingers long on a man's head being struck by the wind, he should establish mindfulness in this way. This wind is striking on this place, or he can establish mindfulness where the wind strikes a part of his body after entering by a window opening or by a crack in the wall, and using any among the names for wind, vata, beginning with the wind, vata, breeze, maluta, blowing anila. He should develop the kasiṇa by using preferably the obvious air. Here, the learning sign appears to move like the swirl of hot steam on rice gruel just withdrawn from an oven. The counterpart sign is quiet and motionless. The rest should be understood in the way already described.
Okay. So can you summarize it, Melinda?
Okay, the wind element and the air element is
Okay.
moving. It's like
Okay.
a moving, and then the kasiṇa should apprehend the sign in the air.
So how do you contemplate moving where? Where does it move?
In the body also, at our
In the
body,
body and
the air, and then the surrounding areas also, and then
okay.
we can feel our ends of the hair moving also, and the touch on it on the body.
Okay. So which one do you prefer? Let's say if you practice this method, do you want to see the surrounding, the trees moving, or you prefer to contemplate the wind touching your body? Which one you prefer?
I think I would prefer the wind touching my body because I can feel the sensation better.
Okay. All right. So you prefer to contemplate the touching point in the body, right? Okay.
Yes.
Now, when we say here the learning sign is look like a white rice glue, right? We drawn from the oven. But do we see any color here? No
I don't
color,
think
right?
color is
Yeah.
color.
Yeah, so it seems to have no color. Okay. So spear of hot steam or rice glue, what is the color can be? A little bit maybe white
Yeah,
or no
white,
color. A
no
little bit
color.
white.
It is
So
colorless.
next time you go and cook rice glue, then you tell me what's the color, okay?
Okay, okay.
All right.
Thank you,
Okay,
Saji.
thank you. Okay, now we already know. So which one is easier to practice? The okay, so far. Earth, water, fire, wind. All right. So it depends on you. For me, I think easier will be, I mean, if you don't want to do anything, you don't want to do the fire, you don't want to make up a bowl of water, or making earth is too difficult. Wind is actually easy because like my place is very windy. Sometimes I look at the surrounding, I can see the trees moving all the time. So it's good to contemplate. So when the wind touching the body, also good. So this is easy. Okay, very easy. But the thing is, the object, it doesn't seem to be any color. It just say that the counterpart is quiet and motionless. That's all. But once we get to the this one, Visuddhimagga, you can see earth, water, fire, wind. The image will be uh not moving at all. Okay, it will be motionless. Now after that, the paragraph 2831 will say, why do we practice water? We practice earth kasina is stand on the, you want to stand on water. If you want to stand on water, you need to practice the earth kasina. You want to dive into the earth, you need to practice the water kasina. You need to make the fire or smoke, you need to practice the fire kasina. You want to go with the speed of wind, you need to practice wind kasina. So that's the purpose on paragraph 2831. I think we can.
Can I ask
Yes.
a question for the air kasina, right? What is the difference compared to, the four great elements, the air in the four great elements?
Okay. This way, this is samatha practice. So
Mm.
you just see this without contemplating anicca dukkha anatta. The
Oh,
purpose is for you to get very deep concentration, to get to the different types of nimitta, to get inside the jhana. But when you practice the four great elements, you need to see, like for example, you practice the even like breathing. What is breathing? Breathing is wind element,
mm,
right? So when you see the wind element, you see the breathing, you have to see the wind comes in, then disappear. Another wind come in, disappear. So you have to see anicca dukkha anatta for the four great elements. All right, because four great elements is under the more on the vipassana. Okay.
mm, mm,
Here is a Patawe Apo Tejo Vayo. Here also consider as a, but this we don't call it four great elements. This one we call it as we call it how you call it? The Kasina, there are 10 types, right? So there are four of these. After that, four colors. Then the light and space, right?
mm.
Okay. So the purpose is gain inside the uh
Samadhi.
concentration. Yeah, samadhi. How come this disappear? Okay. All right. Now, I think we can go for blue kasina. Now it's talking about colors, all right? So when we see the colors will be same. Either you practice with the blue kasina or red kasina or colors. So we look at the blue here. Okay, next one. Shuhua. You can read this one. Shuhua.
Yes, Sayaji. Okay, the blue kasina. Next, it is said in the commentaries, one who is learning
Yeah.
the blue kasina apprehends the sign in blue, whether in a flower or in a cloth or in a color element. Firstly, when someone has married, having had previous practice, the sign arises in him when he sees a bush with blue flowers, or such flowers spread out on the place of offering, or any blue cloth or gem. But, but anyone else should take flowers such as blue lotuses, giri kanika, morning glory flowers, etc., and spread them out to fill a tray or a flat basket completely so that no stamen or stalk shows, or with only their petals. Or he can fill it with blue cloth, bunched up together, or he can fasten the cloth over the rim of the tray or basket like the covering of a drum. Or he can make a kasiṇa dish, either portable as described under the earth kasiṇa, or on a wall with one of the color elements such as bronze green, leaf green, anjana ointment black, surrounding it with a different color. After that, he should bring it to mind as blue in a way already described under the earth kasiṇa. And here too, any fault in a kasiṇa is evident in the learning sign, the stamens and stalks, and the gap between the petals, etc., are apparent. The counterpart sign appears like a crystal fan in space, free from the kasiṇa disk. The rest should be understood as already described.
Okay. Do you think that you like to practice this one?
Not really.
Why? You don't like the flower?
Yeah.
Huh?
Not
You don't like the
flowers,
flower, or you
yeah.
think it's too troublesome?
Yeah, not flowers for me.
No flowers. Okay. All right. So to practice, the first one is either if you have practiced before, so when you see the flowers, okay, it just appear to you. Or another one is you have to buy the flowers and then spread it on a tray. Make sure all the other, we call it the forks. The forks is like the stamen stack only, but the best is just see the petals. Petals means the blue color. All right. Or if not, you make a piece of cloth and then you cover it on the basket or whatever. Make sure it's a round shape. That's what you're trying to say. Okay. Now, why is it talking about this color? Right? This color. Now, normally we say the color nila. Nila actually is a blue color. But sometimes when we check the dictionary, nila has other color. All right. So normally is a nila is a okay. Nila Kasina. Okay. Normally it's a blue color. Where is another dictionary? Nila. Okay. Paritic Society. Okay. Now the problem is normally we say Nila is a blue color, but we have other color. We call it dark color, dark blue. You see, even the blue black, blue green. All right. So normally it's a opposite of white color. Something opposite of yellow, white is will be this dark color, dark blue, dark green, and so on. Okay. So sometimes in sometimes they say it's a brown color also. Okay. So for example, you see the Bali, sometimes Nila Pabba, it will become dark cloud, right? But Nila Upala, it become blue lotus. So actually it has two meaning. One is a blue color, another one would be dark color. So that's why you say you can have other colors like this bronze green, red green, Anjari almond black, right? Or another meaning is you can put the blue color and then you put other colors to contrast it. Maybe that's another meaning trying to say, right? But I think the blue color should be okay lah, right? Okay. So, but some people would find it's very troublesome. You have to find the colors and so on, right? So the fault in the learning side was the statement and stalk. So counterpart will be just like crystal. You always talk about crystal because crystal is a very bright. So maybe just a crystal blue color, right? So the yellow will be same. You either look at the yellow flower or you make yellow. The red will be either you look at the red color or you spread out the flower. Okay, now white color will be same. Look at the white color flowers if you got the merits. If not, you have to make your own kasiṇa. So this is the purpose of making this. And what's the purpose of doing this? Okay. So all these are same I mentioned. Now, then after that, there will be a paragraph 28, 29, 30, and so on. All right. So before we read the purpose, let us continue with the another kasiṇa, light kasiṇa. Sorry, let's go here. Okay, light kasiṇa. Now, this is actually not so difficult, but the problem is not easy to practice also, light kasiṇa. Okay, Sumita, you can read this one.
The light kasiṇa. Of the light kasiṇa, it is said, one who is learning the light kasiṇa apprehends the sign in light in a hole, in a wall, or in a keyhole, or in a window opening. So firstly, when someone has merit, having had previous practice, the sign arises in him when he sees the circle thrown on a wall or a floor by sunlight or moonlight entering through a hole in a wall, etc., or when he sees a circle thrown on the ground by sunlight or moonlight coming through a gap in the branches of a dense-leaved tree or through a gap in a hut made of closely packed branches. Anyone else should use that same kind of circle of luminosity just described, developing it as luminosity, luminosity, or light, light. If he cannot do so, he can light a lamp inside a pot, close the pot's mouth, make a hole in it, and place it with the hole facing a wall. The lamp light coming out of the hole throws a circle on the wall. He should develop that as light, light. This lasts longer than the other kinds. Here, the learning sign is like the circle thrown on the wall or the ground. The counterpart sign is like a compact, bright cluster of lights. The rest is as before.
Okay, so Sumita, do you think you like to practice this one?
I think it's difficult, Saji,
Why?
because there's so many things to do, the keyhole and the so on. I'm not used to this light kasiṇa. Normally, we will meditate in the quite a semi lighted room, not with light.
Oh, but you can try, right? No need to all the wall or keyhole. Just make sure the light cast on the. I think they say it's like contrast. The place dark, and then suddenly you see the light. On the like from the keyhole, whatever. So as long as your mind can see the light, can grasp the light, right? Yeah. So as long as you can get the learning sign, circle thrown on the wall, counterpart sign will always very bright. Okay. So not so difficult to do. Make sure you go to a dark room and then just kind of like light or window light, whatever, thrown the light inside. So your mind just focus on the light. Okay.
With eyes open, Saji.
Of course, when you look at the kasiṇa, you must first open the eyes, look at the light. Then when you close your eyes, your mind should grasp the light you
Yeah.
saw just now. And then you
Yeah.
need to recite light and light, light, light. Just recite again and again. Because the purpose of reciting it is to reduce the we call it distraction, right? Okay, next
Yeah.
person, Cindy Yo. Can you read the space kasiṇa 24, 25, 26? Yeah.
The limited space kasiṇa. Of the limited space kasiṇa, it is said, one who is learning the space kasiṇa apprehends the sign in a hole in a wall, or in a keyhole, or in a window opening. So firstly, when someone has married, having had previous practice, the sign appears in him when he sees any such gate as a hole in the wall. Anyone else should make a hole, a span and 4 fingers broad in a well-thatched hut, or in a piece of leather, or in the rush mat, and so on. He should develop one of these, or a hole such as a hole in the wall, as space. Here, the leaning sign resembles the hole together with the wall, etc., that surrounds it. Attempt to expand it fail. The counterpart sign appears only as a circle of space. Attempts to extend it succeed. The rest should be understood as described under the earth kasiṇa.
Okay, thank you, Cindy. Now, do you think you like to practice this one?
I think this may not be too difficult, right?
Okay, it's very easy to do, right? Look at the space only.
Yeah.
No need to do anything, right? Okay. So do you think you can practice this one?
Should try to do.
Yeah, you should try to do. All right. So, okay, now we finished. Thank you very much. All right. Now we finished all the 10 kasiṇa already. So basically, you have earth, water, fire, wind, the 4 great elements. Right. So I put on the first table, and the second one will with the 4 color. Color is either you do with the flower or any kind of cloth, right? And then the light kasiṇa is just look at the light. Now, space kasiṇa is look at the space, right? So like a wall or whatever, there's a space or something. I think the best way sometimes is you can look at the sky instead of focus on the cloud. So you look at the space and just think of the space, right? So if you cannot extend it, so there's ugaha. So if you can extend it, so it's the patibhaga nimitta. Okay. So once we know 10 kasiṇa, now we can read the purpose of why we practice the 10 kasiṇa. I just copy from there. Okay. So we can read 28, 29, 30. Okay, next person. Florence Hall. Can you read 28, 29, 30? Florence Hall, are you here? Okay, I think she's not here. Okay, then Sister Kahong. Yes, yes.
Yes, IG.
Okay.
8. Of these, the earth kasiṇa is the basis for such powers as the state described as having been one, he becomes many, etc. And stepping or standing or sitting on space or on water by creating earth and the acquisition of the basis of mastery by the limited and measureless method. The water kasiṇa is the basis for such powers as diving in and out of the earth, causing rain, storms, creating rivers and seas, making the earth and rocks and palaces quake. The fire kasiṇa is the basis for such powers as smoking, flaming, causing showers of sparks, countering fire with fire, ability to burn only what one wants to burn, causing light for the purpose of seeing visible objects with the divine eye, burning up the body by means of the fire element at the time attaining Nibbána. The air kasiṇa is the basis for such powers as going with the speed of the wind, causing wind storms. The blue kasiṇa is the basis for such powers as creating black forms, causing darkness, acquisition of the basis of mastery by the method of fairness and ugliness, and attainment of the liberation by the beautiful. The yellow kasiṇa is the basis for such powers as creating yellow forms, resolving something shall be gold, acquisition of the basis of mastery in the way stated, and attainment of the liberation by the beautiful. I continue? Okay.
Yes. Okay.
The red kasiṇa is the basis for such powers as creating red forms, acquisition of the basis of mastery in the way stated, and attainment of the liberation by the beautiful. The white kasiṇa is the basis for such powers as creating white forms, banishing stiffness and torpor, dispelling darkness, causing light for the purpose of seeing visible objects with the divine eye. The light kasiṇa is the basis for such powers as creating luminous forms, banishing stiffness and torpor, dispelling darkness, causing light for the purpose of seeing visible objects with the divine eye. The space kasiṇa is the basis for such powers as revealing the hidden, maintaining postures inside the earth and rocks by creating space inside them, traveling unobstructed through walls and so on.
Okay, thank you very much. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, now, like Jen, she asked just now. Okay, now, what's the purpose of this one? If you practice the 4 great elements in the Vipassana, because Vipassana only have the access concentration, so you will not never get this kind of psychic power. To have this psychic power, you need to practice up to 5th jhana, the highest jhana. Then after that, somebody make a determination to have all this psychic power, right? So that's also another reason why people want to practice Kasina. Okay, because if you want to have this kind of psychic power, but it's also a dangerous thing, because some people, when they practice this one, they might get attached to it. Like in the Buddha time, there are some vulnerable practice the psychic power, show off. The Buddha actually admonished them, tell them not to show off. But there are some vulnerable before they pass away, like Ananda. Before they pass away, the Buddha asked him to show off his psychic power, is because to convince the people. Sometimes it depends on different purpose in the Dhamma. So basically, it depends on what they do. If they want to walk on the water, so they need to do the earth kasiṇa. So if they want to dive into the earth, then they need to practice water kasiṇa, right? So if they want to make things dark, they need to practice blue kasiṇa. So if they want to fly very fast, they need to do the A kasiṇa. So if they want to make things into gold, so there are some story like some of the vulnerable things into the gold color, right? So they're using the yellow kasiṇa. Because what is gold? Gold actually is yellow, okay? So use yellow kasiṇa to make into gold, right? So if dark, use light kasiṇa. So you want to go through a space in the rocks and something, use the space kasiṇa. So all the kasiṇa have their own purpose, right? Okay, now this is a conclusion. Okay, now here, no kasiṇa can be developed by any living beings, described as follows. Means that those people who have such fault, they will never attain the kasiṇa. First, they have karma problem, they have defilement, they have a karma result, and they are lack of faith. Jia means energy and understanding. All right. So they will be incapable of entering into the certainty of rightness. So normally this Pali certainty of rightness is a samatha niyama. So normally talking about here will be in profitable states, but normally samatha niyama is to do with the noble path enlightenment. Okay, so all right, first defilement, if they have wrong view. So if by karma result means if they have ahetuka, rootless, or only 2 roots. Only 2 roots means lack of the wisdom root. All right. So when we learn Abhidhamma in detail, we will know that there is some born without the root, some born only with two roots. Two roots means without the wisdom root. So means that also they don't have faith in Buddha Dhamma Sangha. And also their lack of energy. All right. And they are destitute of a mundane and supramundane right view. Okay. So yeah. So certainty and rightness means noble path. So this means that actually when practicing all these samatha, including kasina, all these are supposed to be help us to attain the noble path. All right. So by this, we finished the kasina already. So previous lesson, we also talking about earth kasina in detail. So once you understand earth kasina, you also be able to do the same thing with water, fire. It's only the object is different, right? And the method is different. But in terms of the three types of parikama nimitta, ugaha nimitta, and patibhaga nimitta. So the theory is same, but of course the object is different according to the kasina. Okay. Okay, so we 5 minutes break. So if question you all ask, if not, I think we can go for Asuba later, right? So 5 minutes break.